Listen, let me tell you something that most women don't even realize they're doing. It seems small, it feels natural, but it can completely change how a man feels about you, and not in a good way. When you go to hug a man, that moment matters more than you think. A hug isn't just physical contact, it's communication. It tells him how you see him, how you feel about yourself, and what kind of energy you carry. Now here's the mistake. Never go into a hug with hesitation, insecurity, or neediness. That right there, it kills attraction. See, a man is naturally drawn to confidence. He wants to feel like he's embracing a woman who knows her worth. But when your hug feels unsure, like you are asking for approval instead of sharing warmth, it shifts everything. If you lean in like you're afraid he might pull away, if your body feels stiff, if your energy says, please accept me, instead of I choose to be here, he feels that instantly. And men may not always say it out loud, but they respond to energy more than words. A hug should feel like an invitation, not a question. When you wrap your arms around a man, it should feel natural, calm, and grounded. Not rushed, not forced, not desperate. Because desperation, that's the fastest way to turn attraction into distance. Let me explain something. When a woman is secure, her touch feels different. It's warm, it's present, it's effortless. It doesn't chase, it doesn't beg, it simply exists. But when a woman is unsure of herself, even a simple hug can carry tension. And that tension makes a man pull back emotionally, even if he doesn't physically step away. You don't want a man to feel pressure in your presence. You want him to feel peace. So instead of overthinking the hug, instead of trying to get it right, focus on how you feel about yourself in that moment. Because the truth is this. It's not the hug that kills attraction. It's the energy behind it. Walk in with confidence. Stand in your value. Let your presence speak before your arms ever do. Let me break something down for you in a real honest way. Most people think attraction is about what you do, the hug, the smile, the words you say. But that's surface level thinking. The truth is, attraction doesn't come from the action, it comes from the energy behind the action. Now, what do I mean by energy? I'm talking about what you feel about yourself in that moment, your confidence, your self-worth, your emotional state, that invisible message you carry into every interaction. Because whether you realize it or not, people can feel that before you even say a word. So when you go in for a hug, that moment becomes a reflection of your inner world. If you're confident, calm, and secure within yourself, your hug feels different. It's relaxed, it's natural. There's no tension in your body, no overthinking in your mind. You're not wondering, does he like me? Or am I doing this right? You're simply present. And that presence creates comfort. It creates attraction. But let's flip it. If you're feeling unsure, if you're doubting yourself, if deep down you're hoping this hug will make him like you more, that energy shows up too. Your body tightens. Your movements become slightly awkward. Maybe you hold on a second too long, or maybe you hesitate before leaning in. And even if those things seem small, they send a message. And that message is, I'm not fully secure. Now here's the part people don't like to hear. Men respond to that instantly. Not always consciously, but emotionally. A man may not sit there and say, oh, her energy feels insecure, but he will feel something shift. The attraction doesn't grow. The connection doesn't deepen. Instead, there's a subtle pullback because attraction thrives on emotional certainty, not emotional need. See, when your energy is strong, you're not trying to get anything from the moment. You're not using a hug to gain approval or reassurance. You're sharing a moment, not chasing one. And that difference changes everything. Think about it like this. A confident woman doesn't hug to be accepted. She hugs because she chooses to connect. There's power in that mindset. There's calmness in that presence. And that's what draws people in. But when the energy shifts into seeking validation, the dynamic changes. The hug becomes less about connection and more about confirmation. And that's where attraction starts to fade, because now there's pressure in the interaction. Nobody is attracted to pressure. People are attracted to ease, to authenticity, to someone who feels good in their own skin without needing constant reassurance. So the next time you go to hug a man, don't focus on the technique. Don't overanalyze where your arms go or how long it lasts. None of that matters as much as how you feel inside. Check your energy first. Are you grounded? Are you confident? Are you confident? Are you okay whether he responds warmly or not? Because that emotional independence, that quiet self-assurance, is what makes a simple hug powerful. At the end of the day, it's not about perfect actions. It's about authentic energy. And when your energy is right, even the smallest gesture can create a strong, lasting impression. Let me tell you something that a lot of people don't want to admit, but it's the truth. The moment you bring neediness into any interaction, especially something as simple as a hug, you change the entire dynamic. Now, understand this clearly. There's nothing wrong with wanting affection. There's nothing wrong with enjoying closeness. That's human. But there's a big difference between wanting connection and needing validation. And that difference shows up in your energy the second you touch someone. When you hug a man from a place of neediness, what you're really saying without words is, I hope this makes you like me more. I hope this brings you closer. I hope this secures something. And that silent message, it carries weight, because now the hug isn't just a hug anymore. It becomes a request. And here's the problem. Attraction doesn't grow when someone feels like they're being asked to fill an emotional gap. It actually does the opposite. It creates pressure. You see, a man naturally leans toward a woman who feels complete on her own. Not perfect, not flawless, but whole. When he feels like you're okay with or without his response, it relaxes him. It makes him want to come closer on his own. But when he senses that you're leaning on him emotionally, even in subtle ways, it can make him step back. Not because he's a bad person, but because nobody wants to feel responsible for someone else's emotional stability that early. Neediness turns a light, natural moment into something heavy. Think about the difference. A confident hug feels free. It says, I'm here because I want to be. There's no pressure behind it, no hidden agenda, just presence. But a needy hug feels like it's asking something in return. It lingers a little too long. It holds a little too tight. It carries an unspoken question. Do you feel the same about me? And the truth is, when you're silently asking that question, the other person feels it, even if they can't explain it. That's why it's so important to check your intention before the moment even happens. Ask yourself, am I giving this hug or am I hoping to get something from it? Because if your mindset is about getting attention, getting reassurance, getting closeness, you've already shifted into a needy space. And that's the space where but traction begins to weaken. But when your mindset is about giving warmth, giving presence, giving a genuine moment, That's where connection grows naturally. It's something powerful to remember. People value what feels free, not what feels forced. When your affection feels like it comes with expectations, it loses its natural charm. But when it feels effortless, when it feels like there's no pressure attached, it becomes something people actually want more of. So instead of trying to use physical touch to pull someone closer, focus on being emotionally grounded within yourself first. Because the strongest kind of attraction comes from someone who doesn't need to chase it. A woman who is secure doesn't hug to hold on, she hugs to express. And if the connection is real, it will grow without force. At the end of the day, a hug should feel like a moment of connection, not a moment of emotional negotiation. And the less you need from it, the more powerful it becomes. Let me explain something to you that can change the way people feel around you instantly. Confidence isn't loud. It's not about showing off or trying to impress anyone. Real confidence is quiet, it's steady, and most importantly, it creates comfort. Now, you might be wondering, what does confidence have to do with something as simple as a hug? Everything. Because when you go to hug a man, you're not just bringing your body into that moment. You're bringing your presence, and your presence is shaped by how you feel about yourself. A confident woman walks into that moment with ease. She's not overthinking. She's not questioning herself. She's not wondering, should I hug him this way, or does he even want this? She moves naturally because she's comfortable in her own skin. And that comfort, it transfers. When you feel at ease within yourself, the other person feels at ease around you. There, no awkwardness, no tension, no second guessing. The hug feels natural, almost effortless. It's the kind of moment that doesn't need explanation. It just feels right. But let's look at the other side. When confidence is missing, discomfort shows up, and it doesn't hide. It reveals itself in small ways. Maybe your body stiffens. Maybe your movements feel slightly off. Maybe there's a hesitation right before you lean in. And even if it's subtle, it changes the entire experience. Because now, instead of the hug feeling warm and inviting, it feels uncertain. And here's the truth. People are drawn to what feels comfortable. They move away from what feels confusing or tense. A man may not consciously analyze it, but he will feel the difference. A confident hug feels safe. It feels grounded. It creates a sense of calm. But an uncertain hug creates a question mark. And attraction doesn't grow in uncertainty. Comfort is one of the most underrated elements of attraction. Everybody talks about chemistry, looks, and words. But comfort, that's what makes someone want to stay. That's what makes someone feel like, I enjoyed being around this person. And confidence is what builds that comfort. When you're confident, you don't rush the moment. You don't force anything. You don't try to control how it's received. You allow it to happen naturally. That relaxed energy removes pressure. And when pressure is gone, connection can breathe. Think about it like this. When someone is truly confident, being around them feels easy. You don't feel like you have to perform. You don't feel judged. You don't feel tension. You just feel good. That's the kind of feeling you want to create, even in something as simple as a hug. But you can't fake that kind of confidence. It comes from how you see yourself. It comes from knowing your value without needing constant confirmation from others and on. See, you have that. It shows up in everything you do, your voice, your posture, your presence, and yes, even your hug. So instead of focusing on doing it right, focus on feeling right within yourself. Because when you feel comfortable in who you are, you naturally create comfort for others. And when a man feels comfortable around you, He doesn't pull away. He leans in. That's the power of confidence. It doesn't chase attraction. It creates a space where attraction can grow on its own. Let me tell you something most people completely underestimate. Your body is always talking, even when your mouth is silent. And in moments like a hug, your body language speaks louder than anything you could ever say. You can say all the right words, you can smile, you can act like everything is fine, but if your body is saying something different, that's the message people believe. Now think about this. When you go in for a hug, there are no long conversations happening. There are no explanations. It's just energy and physical presence. And in that moment, your body becomes the message. So, what is your body saying? If your shoulders are tense, if your arms feel stiff, if there's hesitation in your movement that communicates uncertainty, it tells him you're not fully comfortable. It tells him something is off, even if he can't explain what. And here's the thing. People don't ignore that feeling. They respond to it. A stiff hug doesn't feel warm. A hesitant hug doesn't feel genuine. And an overly tight, clingy hug, that can feel overwhelming. Each of these sends a different signal, and none of them build attraction. Because attraction is built on ease, not confusion. Now let's talk about another mistake, overcompensating. Sometimes when a woman feels unsure, she tries to fix by doing too much, holding on too long, hugging too tightly, trying to create a moment instead of letting it happen. But that effort shows, and instead of feeling natural, it feels forced. You have to understand something. When your body is relaxed, your movements flow. There's no awkwardness, no overthinking. The hug feels like it belongs in that moment. It doesn't stand out, it fits. But when your body is out of sync with your emotions, the hug feels disconnected, like something isn't lining up. And that disconnect is what people pick up on instantly. A man may not say her body language felt off, but he will feel less drawn. He may feel unsure. He may not lean in the next time. And it all comes from that one small moment where your body told a different story than you intended. Body language is powerful because it reveals truth. You can't fake relaxation. You can't fake comfort. And you definitely can't fake confidence through your body. It either shows up or it doesn't. That's why it's so important to be aware of how you carry yourself, not just in a hug, but in every interaction. Are you relaxed or are you tense? Are you present or are you in your head? Are you flowing naturally or are you trying to control the moment? Because your body answers those questions for you. Now, here's the good news. You don't need to perfect your movements. You don't need to practice some perfect hug technique. What you need is alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and body are all in sync, everything becomes effortless. Your hug feels warm because you feel calm. Your touch feels natural because you're not forcing anything. Your presence feels inviting because there's no tension behind it. And that's what people respond to. So the next time you go to hug a man, don't focus on what to do. Focus on how your body feels. Let go of tension. Stay present in the moment. Allow your movements to be natural, not calculated. Because at the end of the day, your body will always reveal what's real. And when your body language is relaxed, confident, and genuine, it doesn't just communicate interest,